Welcome to Gentle Yoga. This is Leo Bray on behalf of Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center in Palm Springs. Visit us online at urbanyoga.org or Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center on Facebook. Check out the schedule of classes offered daily on Zoom, several days a week for local folks in Palm Springs at Ruth Hardy Park. And also please stop by the tip jar where you can make one-time or recurring contributions via PayPal or Venmo or Zelle. Let's start today reclined, Supta Baddha Konasana, on our backs with the soles of your feet together. If you have blocks, you could put yoga blocks under the outsides of your legs to hold the weight of your legs and let the posture be more passive. If it doesn't feel good in some way to have your feet together and your knees apart, you could instead rest the soles of your feet on the mat and allow your knees to lean in towards each other. Hands can rest on your body for just a grounding weight, or feeling the movement of your breath, or feeling the heartbeat, or your hands might just rest on the floor. If you like, you can close your eyes. Notice your breath as you settle into your comfortable stillness, allowing it to get deeper and slower. Observing the movements of your breathing and the way those movements in your body, the way your contact with the floor changes with your breath. Scan your body to take in whatever other sensations are present for you. Making particular note of anything that doesn't feel good this morning. If there's any soreness or stiffness present, making notice that things will allow you to keep them in mind as we practice, and to exercise your freedom to skip or modify any part of practice. If you wish to add any intention of your own for today's practice, you can do so now. Deep cleanse, breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth to the side.
If you have your legs and feet, as I do, feet together, legs apart, bring your hands to your knees, lift your knees towards each other, press the soles of your feet on the mat. Maybe you were already lying with your feet planted and knees up. Draw both knees up towards your chest, hug your knees, and rock side to side or roll in circles to massage your back against the ground. Keep holding onto your left knee, extend and lower your right leg. Press the back of your right leg against the mat. Reach your left arm out to the side. Keeping your shoulders grounded, draw your knee towards the right and turn your head to the left. Back up to center. Draw your right knee in, take hold of it, extend and lower your left leg and your right arm. Bring your knee to the left and turn your head to the right. Bring it all back to center. Draw both knees in. Let's take a few full body stretches. Inhale, reach your arms and legs out, reach your hands away from your feet. Exhale, curl up and hug your knees. Just follow your own breath. If you want to play with more engagement, you might try not quite lowering your hands and feet to the floor as you lengthen out. Might not seem like a big difference, but that's a good amount of core engagement to keep the hands and feet off the floor as you open up and lengthen out. After your next exhale, we're going to make our way up to sitting. You could hug your knees and rock forward and back along the mat. If that doesn't feel good, you could also just tip onto one side and press your hands to the floor. Use your arms to lift yourself up. Find your comfortable seat. It doesn't have to look like mine. Feel your contact with the ground. Feel free to sit up on something if you'd like to pad your seat or just lift for some other reason, maybe to let your pelvis tilt forward and your hips open in front. Think about the length of your spine so you're sitting tall without being stiff or rigid. It's a matter of perception. Sometimes it's difficult to perceive what's going on. We might think we're sitting tall when we're not, or we might think we're relaxed when we're actually stiff or rigid. So always checking in with that state of inquiry in mind, knowing that sometimes sensory perception is faulty. We think something is so when it's not, or we think something isn't when it is. Bring your hands out to the sides, rest just your fingertips on the floor to stay long in your spine. So can you stay long, but be relaxed? Just enough engagement to be extending, but more ease than effort. Inhale, lift your left arm up alongside your ear. As you exhale, reach to the right. Now try to keep both sides of your seat on the ground. Try not to lift your left cheek, your left sitting bone off the ground. Feel for length from your left hip up through your fingertips. Let your right shoulder drop away from your ear. Sometimes the engagement that's necessary in the lower arm to hold the body up can result in scrunching the shoulder up here like that. We don't want that for the neck. So again, you think you're in a good stretch, but what's stretching on one side could be hurting the other side. Inhale, bring yourself upright. Exhale, bring your left hand to the floor behind you, just the fingertips on the floor. Right hand to your left leg. Inhale, lengthen up, press into those fingertips. Exhale, invite your body to twist some more. Check this out on each breath. Asking your body if it wants to go further, not making it go further. Now here we can fool ourselves. We can say, I'm inviting, I'm being gentle, but actually be going past what feels like enough. So we have this tendency to overdo, to go as far as we can. And enough can be way less than the most you could do. Why do we have this tendency to overdo things? I don't know. We can exaggerate in the other direction too. We understate things or underdo things. Let yourself unwind and come back to center. Bring your right hand behind you and your left hand to your right leg. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, invite your body to twist some more. So for example, as you're investigating how much twist feels like enough, it's possible that maybe you're pausing before you get to enough. Maybe you're just deciding, I don't want to invite my body to go further. And that's okay, but just recognize what you're actually doing as compared to what you think you're doing, what you're meant to do. Just note these differences.
Maybe ask yourself why. What's behind this discrepancy? Allow yourself to unwind, come back to center. Let your arms hang limp. Let your hands rest on the floor. Let your chin fall towards your chest very slowly, letting your arms remain slack and heavy. Roll your ear towards your shoulder. Let your head tip back, look up towards the ceiling. Other ear towards the other shoulder. Continue in circles, just as slowly as you can stand. And then when you think you're going as slowly as you can stand, ask yourself, could I go slower? Is this really the slowest I could go? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Maybe you find additional degree of slowness. Of course, if there are any spots in your neck that are particularly tight, you're welcome to pause, making circles and rock back and forth at that tight spot. Still being gentle, still moving slowly. And even when rocking back and forth, maybe ask yourself, is that the slowest I could do this, or can I slow it down a bit more? When you finish the next circle, change direction. Try the same thing going in the other direction. Is the movement easier in one direction than another? Is the slowness more challenging one way than the other? Maybe you think of other questions. Is the second side easier because of the circles on the first side, or is it easier for some other reason? Maybe it's not easier than the first side. Why not? Maybe you can't tell. That's okay too. That's just more information to take in. I don't know which side's easier. Maybe that means they're pretty equal. Maybe that means that perception hasn't developed as much yet. When you finish the next circle, lift your chin and look forward. Rest your hands on your knees or your thighs, or some seated cow and cat pose. Inhale, draw your heart forward, let your head tip back. Exhale, draw your heart back, let your head tip forward. Just follow your own breath. Cow, inhale, and exhale to cat. Allow the movements to grow bigger if that's what your body seems to need. Maybe the breaths get longer as the movements grow bigger. Notice how the movement helps the air into and out of the body. After the next exhale, sit up tall. Take the leg that's in front of the other one and lift it with that hand on the same side. Support the weight of your leg. Let your foot be limp, let your ankle be relaxed. And interlace your fingers between your toes. Keeping the ankle passive, slowly and gently move your foot in circles. Change direction. Can you go slower? Again, like with the head circles. Maybe the slowly you started with is not your slowest. Do you feel a difference when you go slower? Does it feel better? It's okay if you can't tell. The questions are more important than the answers. Release your toes. Use both arms to cradle your leg. Let the leg hang inert and passive. And move your arms to make circles with your leg, rocking your femur in your hip socket. And change direction. Can you slow it down more? Just let the circle be as big as your body wants, not forcing, inviting the movement to grow bigger. If that's what this needs today. Creating space for the movement to grow. Maybe it grows, maybe it doesn't. Let that leg down. Let's lift the other leg. And grab the other toes. Passive foot and ankle very slowly. Move your arm to roll your ankle in circles. And change direction. Release your toes, cradle your leg, using both arms, gently move in circles. Change direction. Let that leg down. Let's come up onto our hands and knees. Get there however you like. Tipping to one side or tipping forward. They're both good options. Hips over knees.
Shoulders over wrists, or if that's too much on your wrists, bring your hands further forward, take some pressure off the wrists. Reach your right foot back and press against the ball of your foot for a couple breaths. Feel the front of your hips start to open, feel your leg lengthen out. Ease off the pressure on your foot. Slowly swing your foot out to the side, bringing it in line with your hip. Your foot might rest on the inner edge, or maybe the sole of your foot flattens to the floor. Either is fine. Just let your foot do what it wants to. Be mindful as we start to move from here of the sensation on your inner right thigh. That will be a good indication if you're getting towards overdoing movement. Exhale, sit back a bit towards your left heel. Inhale, come forward. And just keep monitoring. If it feels like there's room, you can make the movements a little bigger each time. You might also get sensation here on the outsides of the right knee, right outer hip, your sacrum, and the line between those 2 points, sacrum and hip, maybe somewhere else that I'm not feeling it. See how much of this rocking forward and back, what degree feels good to you, feels helpful. Lengthening and opening and finding ease. Gently relaxing tension. Pause with shoulders forward, wrists. Walk your hands further out. Let your head come down between your arms. This is like downward facing dog in the upper body. And walk your hands over to the left, maybe a foot, maybe a little more. Press against your hands slowly to send your left hip a couple inches towards your left heel. Walk your hands back towards center line. And then back in, into your shoulders. Swing your foot back out behind. Bring that knee to the floor. Take a few traditional cow cat breaths. Inhale, bring your heart forward. Let your head and tailbone go up. Exhale, draw your heart up. Let your head and tailbone come down. Come back to table. Reach back and press the ball of your left foot against the floor. Spend a couple of breaths, allowing the leg to lengthen, that hip to open. Relax the pressure on your foot and sweep it out to the side. Let it come to rest in line with your hip. Remember to start small and slow. Exhale, sit back a little. Inhale, glide forward again. Feel it out. Don't make yourself go further. Ask your body, honestly, if it wants to go further. There's nothing wrong with staying within small movements. If that feels helpful, if that feels like enough, if that feels like the edge. And let's stop at the forward portion of that rocking movement. Walk your hands out, making room for your head to drop down between your arms. Walk your hands over to the right. Press away from the floor a little. Send your right hip back. Walk your hands back to center. And then back in. Bring your foot back behind. Bring your knee down again. Take those cow and calf breaths. 2 cycles at your own pace. After your next exhale, make your way to a seat, however you want to get there.
Extend your legs out in front of you. Draw your left knee up, so the sole of your left foot's on the mat. And then use your arms to help your leg lift your foot and plant your left foot outside your right knee. And if you can, flatten your foot for stability. If you can't flatten your foot, it's okay. See if you can flatten them out. We're going to take a twist to the right, and we're going to be checking in about perspective and that inner honesty thing. Am I going as far as it feels good, or am I trying to go past that because I saw someone do it? So bring your right hand to the floor behind you. Remember, just your fingertips, like in our other seated twist earlier, staying long in the spine. Now, this left arm can hook on the left knee, on the outside of it like that. And we can inhale, lengthen, exhale, invite some more twisting, and maybe there's not a lot of change. Now, if and only if it feels like it might be good to go further, you can bring your elbow to the right side of the left knee and use a little pressure with that left arm to nudge yourself to the right. If it feels okay, back off if it doesn't. There's nothing wrong with backing off and coming back to this. That degree of twist feels better to me than going deeper. So I can explore here. Inhale, lengthen. And I can ask again, maybe further. If the body says no, it's a no. Maybe you turn your head, remembering that the neck is the top of the spine, so that's a way for the twist to go deeper. If it feels okay, if it feels beneficial. Maybe the lower spine didn't want to twist more, but the upper spine is that there's room. So to come out first, turn the head and then the shoulders, so you're facing in the direction of the right, extended leg. And we'll switch legs. Use your arms to help lift this left leg. Extend the left. Draw the right knee up, rest the right foot. Find grounding in your seat, find length in your spine. Start with right arm in front of right knee. Nope, forget to move the foot. Lift the foot, use the arms to plant the right foot outside the left knee. Then hook the elbow. I got ahead of myself there. Reach your left hand behind, rest your fingertips on the floor. Pressing into those fingertips, inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, invite your body to go further into the twist. Just to the point of the mouth. And we can ask on each exhale if there's more room, because enough can be a moving target. If you like, you could try changing that arm position and using the right arm to nudge yourself further. But you don't have to. Maybe you try it and it doesn't feel good, so you go back to hooking your elbow over the front of your knee and just seeing what the next few breaths might accomplish. Let yourself unwind, come back to center. Use your arms, lift the right foot up, bring it to the other side. Extend the legs out in front of you. Flex your feet back towards you. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, fold down over your legs. Let your knees bend if they want to bend. As you inhale, think of the crown of your head reaching forward.
As you exhale, think of lowering down. Let your breath do the work. Resist the urge to grab on 2 legs or feet with your hands and yank yourself further down. I find it helpful to leave my hands open, either resting on the tips of the toes or on the legs, or just like this with my fingertips on the mat. So I know I'm not using my arms to deepen the fold, and thus forcing some opening in the lower back, inviting that opening instead with the breath. Maybe there's a deepening of the fold, maybe there are just thoughts about deepening the fold. I'm not trying to press my nose to my knees. Just looking into how much fold feels like enough. Doesn't matter how deep this fold was earlier today or yesterday or the day before. Inhaling, walk your hands up the front of your legs and sit up. We're going to come down onto our backs, draw your knees up, plant your feet. Plant your hands behind you, scoot towards your heels, down onto your forearms, and down onto your back. So you wind up lying on your back with your heels in close to your seat. If you like, you can put a block between your knees on the middle position as a spacer. Press into your feet, inhale, lift your hips up for a brief pose. If you would like a deeper heart opener, you can wiggle your shoulder blades towards each other, clasp your hands under you, and reach your knuckles towards your heels. Make sure your neck is relaxed. You're not scrunching it up. Your head should be resting on the floor. If you're clasping your hands under you, release them. Exhale, slowly let yourself down. Take just a few breaths at your own pace to explore. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And let the next time you exhale and touch down be the last one. Grab your strap. We're going to do our usual strap routine, but we're going to do the longer version where we spend a couple minutes in each of the 4 extended stretches. So run the strap under your feet, hold one end in each hand. Check that the back of your head and shoulder blades and sacrum are on the ground. Keep them on the ground, reach your arms and legs up. So your arms and your strap and your legs are long, and you're still nicely grounded. Point your toes up. Point your toes down. Let your feet relax. Slide your feet apart. Slide your feet together. Take your right foot out of the strap and press the back of your right leg to the floor. Reach your left arm out to the side. Keeping your shoulders grounded, draw your leg to the right and turn your head to the left. Slowly come back up to center. Hold the strap with your left hand. Press your right hand down on the front of your right hip bone. Keep that side anchored down and let your limbs fall open to the left. So try not to let your pelvis roll left. Try not to let your right cheek lift off the floor. And allow for adjustments if it feels like your leg may move more. If your hip may open more, you can adjust the position of your left arm, the tension of the strap. Not trying to go as far as you can, trying to find sufficient opening. Maybe it doesn't feel like you're going to open more. You can even let the strap go slack. Let the leg be passive. You can change your mind, slowly and gently re-engage. You decide to check again if there's some more room. Ever so gently, bring those limbs back to center line. Raise your right leg, step into your strap. Take your left foot out, press your left leg down. Reach your right arm to the side. Draw your leg to the left and turn your head to the right. Softly come back up to center. Take the strap in your right hand. Press down on the front of your left hip. Let your limbs fall open to the right. Nice and easy, come back to center. Lift your left leg, draw your knees in, set the strap aside. Hold your knees, rock and roll on your back, massaging it against the ground. Reach your feet up, reach your hands up to grab onto your legs or your feet, and play with bending and straightening your arms and legs. Whenever you feel complete with your inversion, make your way to your final resting pose. Maybe that's the traditional corpse pose. Legs extended, feet splayed open, hands by your sides. That you can conclude your practice in any posture where you can be comfortable. Corpse pose is not comfortable, please find the position that is. No wrong way to get comfortable, only you know what's comfortable for you. Once you're there, settling in, letting your breath slow down and get deeper. You might reflect on an intention you carried through practice. Or simply focus on your breath. Or choose not to focus on anything in particular. Start to find some deeper breaths. Begin exploring movement bit by bit. Take your time, allowing your movements to get bigger and bigger. Whenever you're ready for bigger movements, you can gently sit up. Bring your hands up by your heart. Thank you for sharing your practice today. The light within me sees and honors that same light within each of you. Namaste.